What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple Newtype, and in this episode we are concluding Gundam Testament. Last time we jumped around through various moments in Universal Century. Some Doms died and went to Dom Heaven. We saw the ground and full armor variants of the Hyakushiki. We also saw the full armor unicorn in action. This time we explore the sins of humanity throughout Universal Century. The concept of the Newtype comes off more as a curse than a path forward. The Unicorn Gundam shows us the real path forward. The Gundam does so by looking at time outside of Universal Century. So let's get into this. This chapter is called Purgatory's Dance and focuses on the demons that consume us. In Gundam's case, particular systems that take over one's soul. It is a nod to Dante's Divine Comedy. The feast is among us. Many run away as a mobile suit runs through the city. It happens to be Blue Destiny. Yu Kajima can sense that Nimbus is coming. The Ifrit rushes in and the two clash. You see 0084. The Demon Blade system is activated. Two strikers fight one another. One happens to be Ito Tsurugi of the BGSD team. I assume the other one is Yuji. This is the first reference to the BGSD team outside of Gundam Katana. The Hooligan Saga is one of my favorites, so I appreciate the nod. UC 0087. Camille and 4 fall in love, but the two found themselves on opposite sides of the war, and 4 was taken down. Rosamia soon followed. This demon that lives inside Camille consumed him until one day it snapped when Camille penetrated Sirocco. Heh. UC 0088. The demon continues to haunt Judo as he fights against Haman. UC 0093. For a moment, New Gundam seemed to be able to contain the demons in all of us, but that didn't last long. UC 0096. The demons continued in the form of the NTD system. Banana fights against Marita. We also see the moment Unicorn and Banshee meet for the first time after the Battle of Dakar. This next chapter paints the concept of envy as viney thorns, slowly grasping you until you can't break free. However, while reading this chapter, it feels more like hate than envy. The only reason I know envy is the writer's true intentions is because he tells you at the end of the volume. Here we see the Psychomu system Zaku from Thunderbolt. Is that a Zaku with sword arms? UC 0079. The Jiang fights against the Gundam. The vines of envy grow. UC 0083. They continue growing as the new Zeal fights the Dendrobium on the battlefield. The two surrender to their desires. Their envy is like petals on the vine. I thought it was the knots. I'm losing track of the metaphor. UC 0088. Their envy manifests in Mashimer's desires to please Haman. It manifests through loyalty. Mashimer is piloting the Hamahama. The Hamahama is like a show pony, a tool to show the return to aristocracy under Haman's crusades. UC 0089. Mashimer is now in the thick of the battle. He has undergone cyber new type enhancements and now pilots the Zaku 3. Petals start to wilt. UC 0096. Banana is fighting against the Rose and Zulu. For the sleeves, to stop a wilting flower, one must stop the Gundam. This next chapter is about how humans play God, focusing on Anaheim Electronics. The writer is going for a 7 deadly sins thing. This chapter is about gluttony. Mankind is all about technological leaps. Godhood requires more than mere technological advancement. It needs humanity to take a leap as well. The solution to this in Universal Century is Newtypes. But those who achieve technological godhood use it the only way humans know how to. Through capitalism, bitch. Cash money. UC 0083. Mami Chima is talking to O'Sullivan. Anaheim Electronics is working with the Federation, but have no qualms going against the Federation to help rogue Zeon remnants with their needs. Chima says that Fetties and Zeeks fight one another, but it is people like O'Sullivan who truly make the world a worse place. He says that he is just trying to be of service to their clients. But controlling the weapons means controlling the outcome. They give her the Gerber Tetra and she too gets a taste of what it's like to be a god fighting above Earth, but she too falls. UC 0087. Playing God came in the form of authoritarianism via the Titans. The people of Earth fought against the gods in this case. UC 0088. This passed to the hands of Neo Zeon. UC 0093. Some form of balance returns as the power of God is finally taken out of the hands of humans. Amino and Char have their final battle, and the Psycho Wave brings forth an equilibrium. But man will always try to become a god. UC 0094. Martha Vist is talking to Alberto. Neo-Zeon remnants are starting to dwindle, and so too with it their profits. Time to start a war, I guess. Alberto looks up at Unicorn Gundam. A battle breaks out near a Klopp-class ship. The Federation fights off a red mobile suit. It is full frontal. He breaks into the ship and steals the Sinanju Stein. Before killing a man, he tells him that he is just fulfilling a role, and thus humans wield the power of God once again. This chapter is supposedly about sin and lust. Once upon a time, a man talked about how humans need a new mode of thinking now that they have moved into space. This man is Zeonic, and this was Newtype theory. The concept of newtypes, however, was perverted over time. Many were used merely as tools for war. They were used to push idealism and religion, and were propped up to convince millions to die on the battlefield. The newtypes were seen more as a curse. It brings only suffering. UC 0079. We return to the battle between Lala, Shar, and Amado. It is said that the curse should have been stopped in this moment. Amado tries to kill Shar and ends up killing Lala. Humanity's sins hold them back. UC 0087. The curse continues as Haman and Shar fight. Haman is cursed by the past. UC 0088. Two sisters are passionately driven for different reasons. One for Big Bro Judo, and the other for the groomer Glimmy. These are the Puru twins. We also see the Gamalk in action. Karasun was also driven by passion. UC 0093. The Psychofield wipes out the curse for a little bit. However, in UC 0096, the curse continues. Unicorn fights against Kshatriya. They provide no value and cause nothing but pain. Unicorn Gundam wishes for someone to kill it. This next chapter is called Ashtarte's Devotion. Ashtarte is a goddess of war. This chapter supposedly represents sloth. The writer tries to portray this through giant mobile armors seen throughout time, and does so in a motherly approach. This is supposedly a reference to Ultraman's mother, but I don't know, man. UC 0079. If faith for the people gives birth to gods, then mobile suits were surely that. The 8th MS team goes up against the Asperis. At that same time, in space, the Big Zam terrorizes the Federation's fleet. The one-year wars described as primordial stew, where one hopes something new comes out of it. The Jiang goes up against the Gundam. UC 0083. Gato crashes and burns in the New Zeal. UC 0089. Glimmy is killed in the Queen Manza, and Puru is saved by Judo, but she too passes away. UC 0093. Quest is killed by Chan. Oh hey, they went with the movie outcome rather than Beltorchica's children. UC 0096. Lonnie in the Shamblo is taken out by the Beam Magnum. Conflict is no longer necessary. It seems it is the Neo Zeong who is talking. It wants to give birth to New World Order. Banana and Riddy face off against Full Frontal, who opens up a Newtype time portal. Banana fights with the spirit of Grandpa Gundam. Through time, we have seen nothing but pain. The battlefield is scattered with remains of some of your favorite mobile suits. The former chapters were meant to be Purgatory. This is meant to be Paradise. It is supposed to be a path forward, a path that a particular Phoenix can supposedly travel to in the future. After the craziest Newtype trip ever, Full Frontal left his body and went to the Newtype realm. Many thought this curse would end right here and there. The ripples of Shar and Amado are finally at rest. But that wasn't the case. UC 105. Sai Gundam fights against Penelope. The curse seems to continue on with the next generation. UC 123. Seabook and F91 fights against Crossbone Vanguard. The disparity gap grows wider. UC 133. The ripples of Seabook's battles continue as he becomes the pirate Kincaid, piloting Crossbone Gundam. UC 153. The curse continues on with young Uso as he fights in Victory Gundam against the Zanskar Empire. The narrator refers to them as a wounded soul who burns bright when light is absent. This pain doesn't just transcend time, it transcends beyond Universal Century. FC-60. Domon Kashu's hand burns bright as he fights in the 13th Gundam fight. He bears the sins of his family. AC-195. Operation Meteor begins and Gundam Wing heads towards Earth. Hiro Yui bears no burden. He's perfect in every way and is just better than you. You have to deal with it. After War 15. Garad pilots GX. Cosmic Era 70. Kira Yamato gets into Strike Gundam for the first time. AD 2307. Setsuna pilots Exia. AG 115. One family and 3 generations are figuring out this whole peace thing. Correct Century 2345. Turn A Gundam unleashes Moonlight Butterfly. RG 1014. G-Cell fights even in a time when there should be peace. Post Disaster 323. Barbie protects Tekadon. Throughout time, there is nothing but pain. But also, in every universe, there is a Gundam trying to fight against the pain. Unicorn is able to see it all. This is happening while Unicorn is tanking the colony laser. Like all the other universes, Unicorn does its part to protect its universe. Unicorn Gundam spreads its wings and flies off into the cosmos, supposedly leaving a path for Phoenix Gundam. And that will conclude Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn Testament. This manga may come off as pointless, and in many ways it is, but it is a reminder to ask questions. For Gundam, that question is, why does one fight, and what is its purpose? The mobile suits may get cooler, the lines in the sand may change, and technology may continue to advance, but it always comes down to questioning why one fights. It's about realizing the burdens of war and the repercussions of those involved. It's about accountability, or a lack of accountability in Anaheim Electronics' case. In many ways, this manga is a reminder not to become the person in the wow, cool robot meme. Let me know down in the comments if there's any Gundam mangas out there that are in the same vein of Gundam Testament. Is there any other obscure manga that fell between the cracks on this channel that you think we should cover? But that will do it for now, Newtypes. Remember, it's more than just the pew-pews. Peace.